What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks. This is going to be my first video in what I think I'm going to call the Advanced PvP Strategies series. This first video I'm going to talk about aggressive energy farming, and this is something that I feel like really fits into my play style. It works out for me a lot of the times. Sometimes it does kind of bite me in the butt, but essentially what aggressive energy farming is, this typically applies to farming down your opponent with fast moves as opposed to KOing your opponent with a charge move. And the benefits of this is that even though you may have to commit a shield in the process and possibly be even in a shield deficit, a lot of the times you're able to regain switch advantage, and with the energy that you have stored up, you're most likely going to be able to pressure shields in a late game scenario and even possibly flip some matchups that aren't as positive. So I have a bunch of different examples in this video that hopefully will clearly outline some ways in which I aggressively energy farm. And this is going to take some getting used to. It is somewhat reliant on you being able to correctly know how many fast moves it's going to take for your opponent to get to another charge move. And if you know that they're not going to be able to get to that charge move in that a certain amount of time, you're going to be able to fast move them down without having to take another charge move. So let's take a look at this first example. And before we get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. These videos take a long time to make for me, and they don't get nearly as many views as some of my other videos, but I hope some of this information can help you guys. So in this first example, my Galvantula is going to be able to get onto my opponent's Azumarill. So I see the swap right there. I switch in my Galvantula. I am going to throw this first discharge to see if they want to shield this. They let it go through. So at this point in time, I know that this Azumarill is in fast move farm down range. You're going to see, even though I'm going to be able to get to another discharge here pretty soon, because I'm up in shields, I am more than willing to shield this charge move that the Azumarill is going to throw to guarantee that I can fast move down this Azumarill and have a ridiculous amount of loaded energy. So let's see how this plays out. I'm going to have to shield at this charge move for sure, but this energy advantage that I'm going to have is going to help me flip this next matchup. So I have all this energy built up. Now let's see what Pokemon they're going to bring out. It's a Whiscash. So typically this matchup is not good for Galvantula at all because Whiscash can just outpace Galvantula with the Mud Bomb damage. But again, because I have all this energy, I'm actually going for a discharge bait right here because they know that I'm heavily overfarmed. I get the shield, so right there, I've regained that shield that I committed earlier on just to commit to the fast move farm down here. So let's see, now the shields are down, I'm also able to get to this Bug Buzz, which will barely be enough to not KO the Whiscash, I think, and then I can fast move it down. But the Bug Buzz is going to be doing so much damage to this Whiscash, and it actually is enough to take it out. So because I committed to the fast move farm down on the Azumarill, stored up all that energy, I had to commit one shield, but not only did I regain the shield advantage, I also flipped a matchup that isn't very positive for Galvantula in the first place, which is really good. And then in the back they had Skarmory, so this was a very clear win here. Alright, this next example actually comes from the perspective of my opponent. So it's still from my viewpoint here, but my opponent is the one that does the aggressive farming. And it works out really well for them. So right here, what you're going to see is this Blaziken throws the Stone Edge. I let it go through, and because I made that mistake of letting the Stone Edge go through, they are now able to bring out their Jump Bluff and fully commit to the fast move farm down of Bullet Seed. Bullet Seed doesn't do that much damage, but it has really fast energy generation. And it's only going to be hitting Kingdra for neutral damage because of the dragon and water typing. But look at this aggressive farm down that they do with their Jump Bluff here. They're going to have to either shield this Outrage or let it go through. They do let it go through because Jumpluff is so tanky, and they commit to the Bullet Seed farm down, which is amazing for them because I have Blaziken and Mantine. Both of these Pokemon, Blaziken and Mantine, are going to kind of struggle against a Jumpluff with an energy advantage. Blaziken is not going to appreciate those aerial aces, and Mantine is not going to appreciate the energy ball, even though it's only going to be hitting for neutral, but very smart, aggressive farm down on my opponent. And they leave their Jumpluff with minimal health to be farmed by one of my Pokemon. So great play on my opponent's end right there. So this next example is actually a continuation of that previous match. So I know that they have farmed me significantly with their Jumpluff. I'm going to bring out my Mantine here and do the same exact thing to them. Because I am running Wing Attack as the fast move, I'm hitting them for super effective, where Bubble would be resisted. So I'm fully committed to the fast move farm down right here. I knew I was going to have to commit a shield. Because they farmed up all that energy, they're able to get to 2 energy balls. Great play. But now I have a Mantine with loaded energy, and that's really going to help me in the rest of that match as well. So I kind of return the farm down there. And in this next example, it's still taken from the same match. This is kind of funny. 3 very good examples of aggressively farming down. We know that my Mantine has a lot of loaded energy, so let's see what's going to come out in the back and how this matchup's going to play out here. So out comes Ferrothorn, which in general isn't actually that great of a matchup for Mantine, but because I have all that loaded energy stored, I'm actually able to bring out my Blaziken, fast move farm down his Blaziken. I will commit 1 shield here. Because of this energy that I farmed with my Mantine and my Blaziken, I actually think I'm going to be able to take this matchup. So again, I committed to the fast move farm down when they brought out their Blaziken. This is going to be able to take out my Blaziken right here, but all of this loaded energy I have in my Mantine, I haven't dumped any of it yet. I go for this aerial ace. It is going to be hitting for very strong neutral damage, and it's actually able to take out the Ferrothorn. So I was able to win that matchup because I committed to the fast move farm down on the Mantine. A lot of these cases might be very obvious to some of you, but to some of you out there, this might be a new concept to you, this concept of aggressively fast move farming down. So let's take a look at another example. Alright, in this example, this is actually an instance where committing to the fast move farm down helped me regain switch advantage. So as you'll see in this matchup, it opens with Quagsire against Ferrothorn. Horrible matchup for me, but I'm going to bring in my Blaziken, and then what's going to happen is my opponent is going to mirror with their own Blaziken, and because I committed to the counter down at the end of that match, you'll see that I will regain switch advantage, which is pretty huge when you've lost a lead like this. So out comes my Blaziken. I got a lot of damage off on the Ferrothorn. Out comes his Blaziken. I will throw a Blaze Kick right here because I'm lower in health than his Blaziken. Now, there's a mistake right there. Because my opponent did not shield, I know that I now can just fully commit to the fast move farm down and flip this matchup. Even though I will be at a shield deficit, I will have regained switch advantage, which is really going to help me in the rest of this matchup. Especially when I have a lead that is that terrible. So out comes the Cherrim. They're rocking double grass. So it was pretty crucial that I regained switch advantage here and that my Blaziken was able to output some damage onto that Cherrim. So I find that these aggressive energy farm downs are most effective when you have a Pokemon that has a pretty high damage fast move, as well as charge moves that will most likely draw a shield. I think a perfect example of this is Kingdra. Kingdra with the Dragon Breath damage outputs a lot of fast move damage, so you have a lot of farm down potential. But both of Kingdra's charge moves, Outrage and Octazooka that I'm running right now, are fairly high energy cost charge moves. But they do pack a punch, so they will most likely draw a shield. So this matchup right here, Kingdra against Blaziken, anytime I'm in this scenario, and these are taken from some Forest Cup practice battles here, I fully commit to the fast move farm down, load up on all that energy, because whatever comes out, unless it's an Azumarill, is going to be pretty threatened by these charge moves. I believe what happens here is I fully commit to the fast move farm down on the Blaziken. I will commit a shield here. If it's a Stone Edge, it is going to hurt. and it is a Stone Edge. So I correctly shield that up. I have so much loaded energy, and they're actually going to bring out a Ferrothorn, which does resist both of my charge moves. But look at how much damage I'm going to be able to output onto this Ferrothorn. I get one Outrage off. And I'm barely not able to get a second Outrage off, but you can see just the raw Dragon Breath damage and the Outrage that went through really did a lot of damage to that Ferrothorn, and I was actually able to guarantee that I won the lead there. So pretty huge play right there. The Dragon Breath farm down on Blaziken is something that I like to do a lot with Kingdra. So in this next example, my Ferrothorn actually commits to a Bullet Seed farm down, which Bullet Seed, again, as we know, pretty low damage, but pretty high energy generation. And the great thing about Ferrothorn is that both of its charge moves that it's running, Flash Cannon, Power Whip, both really pack a punch. So this Ferrothorn really benefits when you can commit to a fast move farm down like this. Let's see how this plays out here. So I'm already in a positive matchup against this Whiscash. Most likely going to get a shield with his Power Whip because it would one-shot. My opponent switches out into Credilli. Now, I'm going for the Flash Cannon. And because this Flash Cannon is going to connect right there, I see that they have such low health that I'm going to be able to fast move farm them down. Even though Bullet Seed is only hitting for neutral because of the grass and the rock typing, and that is a pretty sizable amount of health right there, I'm fully committed to the fast move farm down, but it's going to take a decent amount of Bullet Seeds. Let's watch this play out. Both of Credilli's moves I would resist. Stone Edge and Grass Knot. So right there, I was totally okay absorbing their charge move and just fully committing to the fast move farm down, which provides my Ferrothorn with all of this loaded energy to be able to threaten the Whiscash in the back. So again, very short, small example, but another example of where committing to the fast move farm down is very beneficial. Alright, this is a longer example here, but you can see right here I'm putting in a scenario where my Pokemon just fainted, and I have to decide between bringing Blaziken in on a Whiscash, which is not a good matchup, or Quagsire in on the Whiscash, which will only be taking neutral damage from the Whiscash. I actually opt to bring in Blaziken. Blaziken, as we know, has counter as the fast move, a very high damage, decent energy gaining fast move, especially with Blaziken's high attack stat. So I'm going to opt to bring in Blaziken to counter this down. Might have to commit a shield, that's okay. But I know whatever comes in, Blaziken with its heavy hitting charge moves is most likely going to regain a shield. This is a longer example, so watch how this matchup plays out. I'm definitely down right now, down a Pokemon, lost the lead, even shields, but let's see how I flip this around. Bring out Blaziken. Mud Bomb would do so much damage, so I will commit a shield here. I'm committing to the fast move farm down. And what's going to come out is Mantine, which is another horrible matchup for Blaziken. But because I'm running Stone Edge and I committed to the fast move farm down on the Whiscash, I'm able to pressure a shield right here with Stone Edge. Really good for me. I now bring out my Quagsire to avoid being farmed down by the Mantine. And I'm able to get a Stone Edge off before the Mantine can drop a Bubble Beam on me, which is really great. Quagsire does win that CMP tie right there. No need to shield this. Let's see what she has in the back. She has her own Blaziken in the back. So look at this. I'm already up in shields. I actually have a shield advantage right now, which is really great. I will commit my last shield here because I know I'm going to be able to get to an Earthquake. I get 2 more Mud Shots worth of energy on that Blaziken. Did you guys see that? That was actually a pretty deciding factor in this game. So I know that the Blaziken has no shields. I'm at an Earthquake right now. I shield up the Blaze Kick. 1, 2, I get 2 more Mud Shots worth of energy, and then I'm going to throw the Earthquake. You can see how this actually helped win me this match. Because of this stored energy I have on Quagsire, I'm able to CMP tie on the Stone Edge, get this Stone Edge off, and then I actually am going to be able to bring up my Blaziken and counter down this Mantine. So pretty crucial that I overfarmed on the Blaziken and that I committed to the counter down on the Whiscash. Those were kind of the deciding factors that helped me flip that match. All right, this next example is again where my opponent aggressively farms me down. Amazing play. So I'm in this situation with Kingdra against Shiftry. I could possibly stay in here, but the Leaf Blade damage is just a little bit too much and I don't want to deal with that. So I switch into my Blaziken and he switches in Azumarill. My Blaziken is switch locked against an Azumarill. But he knows that Azumarill is so tanky, he doesn't really need to commit shields in this matchup. Stone Edge does go through and does a good amount of damage, but he is fully committing to the bubble farm down on the Blaziken. This is going to leave the Azumarill with essentially 100 energy stored to threaten whatever the next Pokemon is. He does shield the Blaze Kick, worried that it would be another Stone Edge, but he commits one shield and in turn has all this stored energy on the Azumarill and is for sure going to be able to regain that shield advantage, and he's maintained switch advantage. So amazing play from my opponent. Just the Azumarill completely bubbled downs a Blaziken. Really great play. All right, this next example, a little bit longer, but absolutely insane. This was pulled from one of my really intense battles on one of my Twitch streams. So look at the scenario here. I'm down a shield. They are up a shield. Defense Deoxys is not really a good matchup for Azumarill. They have a Meganium in the back with loaded energy, and I have a Registeel in the back with a little bit of energy. So it's not looking super great for me. It's not looking super great. I'm down on shields. I know that this Deoxys has Rock Slide as one of the moves, so I'm anticipating that Psycho Boost is the other move. Let's see how I play this out. The Psycho Boost is going to be coming through, which is going to consistently debuff the Deoxys. So at this point, I'm going to fully commit to a bubble farm down on this Deoxys because I need to have an Ice Beam loaded to threaten the Meganium's shield in the back. So this is going to be another Psycho Boost, and I'm going to barely survive, and now aggressively switch into my Regi to lock on farm down the Deoxys really fast. Out comes the Meganium. Luckily, I do have some loaded energy on my Registeel, but remember, we have a loaded Ice Beam on that Azumarill in the back, but hardly any health. Azumarill does lose the CMP tie against Meganium, which is kind of scary. So if this Meganium has a Frenzy Plant loaded coming out of this matchup, we're not going to be able to win it anyways. The Earthquake connects really bad. And because my opponent did not commit to the fast move farm down there, that was their only win condition. Because now, as you will see, they don't have two Frenzy Plants stored. And so my Azumarill is going to be able to come in, land the Ice Beam, and I'm going to be able to take that match. Insanely close, but because I committed to the farm down on the Deoxys, and the Meganium did not fully commit to the farm down on the Registeel, I was able to win that match there. Here's another pretty intense example taken from one of my Twitch live streams. As you will see, Haunter is one of the best proponents of this aggressive fast move farm down potential. You will always get a shield from one of Haunter's charge moves, unless of course you have like an Umbreon or a normal type that you bring in. But Haunter, crazy high attack stat, outputs so much damage, and the Shadow Claw damage outputs so much damage as well, so you can really aggressively farm down your opponent even if they have a decent amount of health left. So let's see how this plays out. We're in this Azu mirror match. I want to throw this Ice Beam to get the Azumarill a little bit lower. Now I bring out my Haunter. I know I have a Shadow Punch loaded. This is going to threaten the last shield. But at this amount of health, I'm going to commit to the fast move farm down on this Azumarill. I will commit my last shield here. Now look what they have in the back. It's an Alolan Marowak. Because I committed to the fast move farm down with my Haunter, this Shadow Ball is going to one-shot the Marowak and solidify this victory for me. This is actually really good that I did that because I had a Registeel in the back, which would have gotten wrecked by Alolan Marowak, and my Azu was completely out of health. So that was the play that won me that match. Even though it shows I still have all three Pokemon remaining, my Azumarill's pretty much dead, my Registeel is walled, and my Haunter's almost dead here too. So that was the play that really won me that match. Here's another great Haunter example of aggressively energy farming. So we're in a Haunter mirror match. I know that I have a rank 1 Haunter, so if this person does not have the specific defensive bulk point on their Haunter, I can just fully commit to the fast move farm down anyways. No matter what in this Haunter mirror match, I never throw a charge move. I always commit to just Shadow Clawing down, because what's going to happen, and Caleb Pang actually just made a video on this today about fast moves. If you throw your charge move, your opponent is sneaking in a fast move at the same time. And actually what ends up happening is you will lose this mirror match. So look at how this plays out. This was pretty IV based because as you can see, I fully commit to the fast move farm down. I have a Shadow Ball loaded. And they're going to bring out their Registeel, and I'm going to be able to either threaten a shield or do a massive amount of damage. They actually let that Shadow Ball go through, which I thought was absolutely insane, and that puts me at a huge advantage in that matchup. I won the lead. I essentially took out half of Registeel's health there. So really good scenario for me. I hope this video provided you with some useful information, just showing you a couple different examples here of how I like to aggressively energy farm. This works out for me a decent number of times, but it also sometimes ruins me if I lose track of my opponent's fast moves. So if you appreciate this content, if you found it helpful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.